And we're back. And now we're instantly sad.
Aww.
Yeah, our marketable mascot's no longer here.
Cheeks in chat.
Drop
I
a
mean-
hard B in the.
Can I get threes in chat?
Oh, Lord. Yeesh. At this point now, I might actually just the shits of it talk to Citric to actually, make a Humphrey's cheek emote.
I mean, why
I
not?
mean,
Uh, I've always contemplated possibly putting some D&D character emotes into the chat, just so much so as that, like, the only games that have run so long with me are this one and Saved by the Spell, which is two very specific casts that would not be recognizable in anyone else's, stream chats.
Yeah, but I feel like longtime viewers would appreciate like a good meme.
Fair. Though the meanest thing I could do is make Citric make me a Cerveza Cristal emote.
Yeah, that's very true. To the comment of your other long form game, I'm honestly on the conversation of emotes, I'm half expecting like a Daedalus Pog.
If anything, with how Daedalus has been and how much we had to have a talk at the end of the last session about, man, we really did pick the worst character in this game to be the trauma, wagon guy. He would have to be the concerned face with, the two pressed hands.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be the emote's gonna be like a Daedalus like Soy Jack pointing, and there's like a laser spell coming out of his finger hitting Sweet.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, trust me. There was yesterday was such a war council. We spent before me and Zan had our little call, at least a good hour and a half before we were going to be jumping in call, just throwing out everything everyone has in their kits and how we are going to use them. And we didn't realize that we'd spend the entire time walking in a circle, not figuring out we just had to blow up a wall. Oh, we play so intelligent characters that are so dumb. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Is there anything anyone wants to share or gush about? Good to
Listen,
know.
I just got done rambling in Discord right before we started. I've lost my privileges. My privileges have been revoked.
Hey, you know what? Vaughn, I woke up this morning, and that's pretty pog.
Indeed.
Yeah. You know what? That's the reason for celebrate alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any day you get up is a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing a few things in the background that I forgot to set up before stream, despite us also sitting in here for half an hour. Just I could have prepared it, but I didn't.
Yeah, well.
That is a mood. Also, happy session at 21.
Oh, you're right. It is the 21st. It is the inevitable 21.
Our characters, well, our game is now old enough to drink, and oh boy, does it need it.
Yeah.
We're only a few more sessions away from me needing to get a tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
True, and at that stage, it can also rent a car, so we have to stop it from leaving us. Sorry, the second my brain's thought of that, I just went to the Simpsons thing of I come to bring love, break his leg so he can't escape.
Well, I'm so sorry to interject. I have to ask Zan.
Yeah.
Is the first drink that the game is legally allowed to have a Cerveza Cristal or a Rosé?
You know what? I like this game a lot, and I want it to be not brutalized by the world so quickly, nor sweetened by false expectations. So I think I would start it off with a nice hard cider.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But depending on how much it traumatizes us this session, we may just do something much crueler to it and do like I did for my first drinks and just go straight to vodka. Listen, man, I discovered very early in my life there was only one way to like figure out if I was uh Irish or Russian heritage, and it was leaning very Russian for a while, considering that vodka is one of those safe drinks for me for some reason. But then I also realized, oh wait, vodka is made from potatoes, so this clears up nothing.
Correct. Well, now that we are toasting the celebratory 21, I'm gonna start us in going around the horn because we haven't done that yet. Howdy, y'all. It's me, Tix Dixel. You can find me almost anywhere except not on Twitter because I nuked it. We've got a lot of stuff cooking in the background, but also I'm going to be completely transparent and saying I've got a lot of stuff that's on pause. I have an entire doublet and a cloak to finish in less than a month. And I am taking every ounce of free time that I can after being sick, because I am still sick, in focusing on doing that. So there will be updates. It just may be a little dead until those two items are finished. But other than that, we are in the works of figuring out some stuff with Skelly, who I know he's going to talk about later, and then I believe, if I remember correctly, this upcoming Saturday is going to be No Love War Extra, unless I'm mistaken.
You are not. It's literally the only other thing that's going to be on this channel this week.
Hell yeah! And with that, I'm gonna pass the talking skull over to. I have the power to choose. I have the power to choose. I have the power to choose. Zan.
Oh shit. It's me, Zan was Grim, or just Zan. Hey, you ever heard the saying third time's a charm? Well, it's been 4 years. This will be my 6th move. So hopefully I'm doubling up the charm. This will be the last one for me. So as a result, I'm gonna be pretty busy over the next 2 weeks, so streams are gonna be pretty sporadic for me, unfortunately. But you can still very likely catch me this upcoming Thursday at twitch.tv/MontyGlue at 7 p.m. PST for some more Dungeons of the Mad Mage, where we're going through some shit, and it's a very high level D&D, so if that piques your interest, that'll be there for you. But aside from that, unfortunately for the time being, that's all me. So I will dribble the skull a little bit and then pass behind the back, no look pass to Skelly Alpha.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Scaly Alpha, on Blue Sky and Twitch. Stream about usually 4 to 5 times a week. This upcoming week is going to be the start of helping fund everything going to Anime Detour. And I'm going to be doing a Minecraft-based donathon where I have to use a mod pack that very much limits my terrain use. And I have to go beat the Ender Dragon in 2 weeks. You can use donations to make my life hell, or help me if you want, but probably people are gonna make my life hell. That's gonna be pretty much what's gonna eat up my next 2 weeks till the 25th. However, there is gonna be something to break it up interspersed in. I've got a couple fun little streams because I'm gonna do like 2 to 3 days of Minecraft and something else. Repeat. One of the things are going to involve Ceres, in which I believe we're going to be streaming the game off with a couple pals.
Sorry, I just got really excited.
No, that's fine. Like, I find whenever I talk about
Yeah.
this, like, because I've never played it, whenever I bring it up, somebody in the
Yeah.
crowd gasps.
Kaz, we're shaking hands. Kaz, we're shaking hands.
We are shaking hands very vigorously. Okay.
I'll make sure to have those days specified out as the time comes for everybody. But other than that, that is incapacitating literally all of my time now. There will also be a fun little reveal along on the 11th that I'm sure people will enjoy. But other than that, that's me. And I will pass the Talking Skull over to Kaz now.
Hello. I'm Catastrophe Cos. I'm deep in SoccerCon prep. If it wasn't enough, I would change my mind like 500 times in the last like week. So, plans changed, things added, things dropped. Gaius is making a return to SoccerCon, so if anybody wants to send me some axes to borrow, that'd be pretty cool. But besides that, I did an interview actually on Wayne the Unknown's channel. A homie and I talked about what it was like to like start our cosplay journeys, like some tips and tricks, advice for anybody that wants to start like nowadays, especially versus like when we first started, which we're old, and have been doing this for a very long time. So, if you want to hear us chit chat for a little bit, you can find that. That video just went live last night. And again, Wayne the Unknown, super cool guy, does a lot of cosplayer, convention coverage and whatnot. But yeah, that's been me. So I'm gonna finish off this goal, and I'm gonna kick it towards Vaughn.
Thank you. And also, if you want, you could drop me a link to that video, and I can put it into the episode description for anyone who wants to find it on YouTube.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But yeah, hi. You already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, and you can find me over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. Like I said earlier, this week is unintentionally my time off week. Not exactly time off from work and all that funness, but yeah, we've only got more No Love War Extra, where we are dropping feet first into the first legal defense of the main game. And oh boy, are we not prepared for that, because May have only learned the controls 3 months ago and not played since. My 1,000-yard stare is just getting wider. But in the good way, because Of the Devil's fantastic. You should definitely go wishlist the second episode and go get the first, 2 episodes, because, yeah, one's free and the other's, for dollars on the cent, and it's great. So do that. Support that game. But yeah, with that out of the way, it's time for me to put on our ever so lovely theme song. So, diddle-a-doo.
It sure is.
You see
Yeah,
Vaughn's
no. Literally, we out ourselves so hard.
Yeah!
The
just a little
thumbnail,
bit.
when I saw that, I just about died. Yeah.
Man.
Love the chopper hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Those antlers.
I know, their mom helped them make that. I'm like, that's cute.
That is so cute.
Me,
Alright.
I'm playing solo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Vaughn has reemerged. Would anyone like to do a recap of what happened last session?
Depression.
Yes.
A little bit.
It's not wrong. You aren't wrong. No takers?
I can do it if no one else is gonna grab it.
Okay.
We continued kind of our venture onto the road until we found a fork between two paths, and I believe we went out to investigate a bit off the trail where we found a strange bubbling blood river of sorts. Over the bridge, we found a set of illusions within the mists and found more bizarre magic that we couldn't quite explain or get a head on, I suppose. Um, but we decided to head back, and there was really nothing we could do to further investigate that area, at least that we felt comfortable doing. So we went back, got some rest, and when we woke up, Humphrey ended up bringing back somebody that we'd given the beat down to the previous the previous day, as they were kind of just left stranded, and we kind of had a group discussion about what we should do about them. Decided they were no longer really a threat, and decided like, all right, we'll kind of let them go their own way because we're not murderers. We're not just going to kill somebody who's been left stranded. And shortly after, when we all decided to kind of collect ourselves further before heading on, this strange individual, as well as Humphrey, disappeared with the mists, very, very calmly. And I believe that's where we called it.
That is where we called it.
I do want to correct one thing. Branson is, in fact, a murderer because he did kill that one guy.
I said we, collectively.
Fair.
Individually, I mean, that's for the courts to decide.
Ugh.
But Zan, do you have a die of inspiration?
I do, so I would like to give it to somebody who does not have it.
Okay.
Which one of you skelly alphas doesn't have inspiration?
Let me double check. Let's see. Roll 20 went unresponsive there for a second.
I mean, is it really roll 20 if it's not denying one of us our rights?
That's true. I have inspiration at the moment.
Which one of you Kaz's don't have inspiration?
Still, actually.
Do you have inspiration?
Yeah.
Which one of you Vaughns don't have inspiration?
That's the reason I didn't offer to do the recap, because I do have it.
Yeah, no, same.
Then you know what? I'm going to plant this inspiration into the soil, and though we cannot stay here long to watch it grow, I will rest well knowing that one day it will sprout and be someone else's inspiration.
The irony is, I think Itrick was the only person who didn't have inspiration.
Probably.
So here's what I'm gonna say to that, based on what you've just said, Zan. I'm gonna take that die. I'm gonna take that die of inspiration. I'm gonna use it as the DM. I'm gonna call it.
Good.
Not gonna tell you who's gonna get it. I'm not gonna tell you when it's gonna happen. But when I think it suits would make things interesting. We'll word it that way. When I think it will make things interesting, you will see the fruits of your labor.
And even if I don't, sometimes you gotta plant trees knowing you won't see the shade.
Yeah. All right. And as previously mentioned, we ended the session with the mists clearing and an empty bucket resting on the top of the caravan cart.
And I
just
suppose.
happened?
Yeah. Humphrey, hopefully went home.
Oh.
Is everyone alright?
I believe I am uninjured. Look over towards the ox and Lychee, make sure they are not injured.
You see Lychee right now just kind of focusing on keeping the ox calm. It looks like the sudden mist and the obscurity kind of spooked it a bit, made it a little nervous. And so while he doesn't look injured, he looks like he has his hands a little hands in his focus a little preoccupied at the moment.
I would say at that point, Zan, you probably hear a slight sound of like metal clinking as you'll see Branson is glaring up at that bucket and he is now visibly shaking. And then you guys have all heard Branson's roar when he does his channel divinity. You guys are going to watch him throw his head back and let out a roar so loud that you might feel like he might have ruptured his vocal cords as do. Where is it? You'll then watch 4 bolts of lightning come down and strike at the exact edges of the mist, atomizing it. And then when he pulls his head back down, only you'd be able to see this because unfortunately it's sight related, and even though he's turning towards Lena, you will see that he is now openly weeping and his eyes are now more angry and feral than you have ever seen them. And he is just going to hold out his hand, which is now charging with that black lightning, point it at the mist, and Oop, wrong one. There we go. Do you think this is funny? As boom, let's see here. How big is the section? A 30-foot cube of the mist just gets atomized in a pillar of black lightning. Do you think it's a game to mess with our lives? Are we toys to you? As he just holds it out again, does it again to another 30-foot cube. And he's just now charging at the... Well, not charging, but he is stomping towards the mist. How does it feel when one of them can toy with you back? And again, another 30-foot section of the mist. He is just destroying this, fully lashing out.
Razvan will look towards kind of Lychee and the rest of the group and kind of motion for Lena and Ophestiel to kind of come towards the front.
Yeah, she will
follows.
quickly head over that direction to give Branson some space for the moment.
Between him yelling and casting. Lena, do you mind making sure the ox is not too frightened from this?
Certainly, I'll see what I can do. She will head around the front, kind of go over to the ox and try to keep its attention like faced forward.
Go ahead and roll me an animal handling check.
Alrighty. Oof. Oh, okay. I'll take it. I also forgot to swap my name.
Between you and Lychee, who is largely like holding on the makeshift as it was previously broken, bridle and harness, and is like, whoa, easy, and you sort of come in as well, and I'm not sure if you necessarily like pet the ox's back or like what exactly it is that you do. What would you say that Lena is doing?
Probably like, cause like when I was younger, like my family had like a pet, like I would call it like a pet cow. My dad took in farm animals. It would like they like their jawbones like being rubbed like really roughly. So like would probably like try to face the ox's head away, kind of like rub like the jowls like right there.
Okay. And you're largely, it's very, very difficult, but you are largely able to keep, you are able to keep the ox relatively steady. Simply in that way that, in that way that you recognize from owning your own livestock, you know, what they're receptive to.
Oh, I meant that. Sorry, I meant that out of character, like my family owned.
Oh, okay. I'm so
like
sorry.
that we had this cow that loved like getting like its jowls rubbed and stuff. Like
Got it. Well,
in
yeah.
character, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. But yes, yes, you were able to do so. You were able to do so with success. There is a moment as Branson is having his moment where Lychee sort of looks to you, Razvan, and to you, Lena, and goes, "Look, I don't know what happened. I don't mean to be that guy to tell you how to grieve. If he doesn't stop, we're all going to die, and that is something that I can promise you."
Razvan will kind of take a breath. Vestio, can you go up here as well?
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
Keep an eye out on Lychee for me, will you?
Yeah, of course.
Razvan will take a deep breath, take off his hat, walk a few paces away from, I'm assuming, a still raging Branson,
Yeah,
and on him.
I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, like, you would start to see he's almost like Super Saiyan 2 energy crackling with lightning right now.
And kind of hat in his hands, he's going to stand perfectly still and just have a loud, slow breath turn into a silent spell over himself as well as Branson.
You'll see as Branson was just about to start shouting something, and he sees that, like, all sound has stopped. He's going to whirl back around on you, still in that almost feral, angry state. And slowly you will see, as he is still weeping, he hasn't even registered that, but he's going to see you and kind of lock in on you and see the general, like, sadness that Razvan doesn't typically exude, given its carefree nature. And it'll just start. Well,
Razvan's eyes usually have kind of caked on theater makeup that's pretty poorly just upkept.
mhm.
You can tell that there have been tears rolling down his face as he will, alongside his hat that he is holding, he will drop it to the floor along with the silence spell.
Branson will, for lack of a better word, deflate. Like, the anger's like gone out of him along with most of his magical power that he threw at the mist. What do we do now?
May I take a step closer towards you, my friend?
Go ahead. I won't hurt you.
He'll take a step forward, emptied hands, and just hug onto Branson. Very quietly.
He will go very rigid, as it may even like register to him this is the first time he's been hugged in 5 years or had any kind of positive like physical connection with a person. And so he's now not really sure what to do.
And Razvan will just very quietly say, just for Branson to hear, I don't know. And I'm holding him on tight for a moment before letting go and taking a step back again. I pride myself on a lifetime of trying to find the right words. It always makes me feel so foolish in these moments where there's none to be discovered. I could say I am sorry, but I know that would not help. I suppose the only thing I can say is that I am here, and I'm not going anywhere. If you need any help with what you are feeling, with the anger, the rage, the sadness. You are not alone.
Branson will look up to the sky and look contemplative, and you'd probably be the only one he'll say, like you're the only one close enough that I'll hear, and he'll just go, I hope I hear from the voice soon. They will help.
We have lost friends before. I'm certain you've lost far greater. I have as well. And ever since we came to Cartacus, well, ever since we came to the circus, few things have made sense. A few things have added up. The directions we traveled, they never end in the destination we expect. And yet you still find purpose here. You still maintain your path ahead. You'll march ever onward towards your goal that you feel is just and right. Do not know where Onyx is. I do not know where Humphrey is. But I have to believe that wherever they are where they are meant to be. Same as you. On this road. This path towards who you hunt.
Gather the others. We have to have a talk.
I'm sure it will not be I'm sure that there are many words that need to be exchanged. But please, Branson, my dear friend, take any time you need.
Branson will nod and just walk over to the wooded area over here and try to find a semblance of a stump or a log to sit on, and just kind of his head is in his hands right now as he's just reeling from everything.
The roots of the tree are far greater than, like, in size than the average roots. You don't necessarily find a stump, but the roots themselves are good enough to sit on. As the two of you are having this conversation, Ephestiel, I would like you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
D6.
You feel eyes on you. After that lightning strike, after Branson threw multiple spells into the mists, you just started to feel this gradual sense, this presence almost. But at this point now, it is very strong, and you feel eyes upon you. And as you stand there, watching Lena and Lychee, who at this point seem to be having some sort of almost whispered conversation amongst themselves, you yourself hear a whisper in your ear. Festiel.
Can I determine where... Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Is there a discernible...
There are dangers on this path you take. Festiel. Make it stop, please. Stop the dangers. Go ahead and roll me a perception check to answer that question that I know that you've been that you've been trained to ask.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll that perception check for me. 7!
That's a 7.
They are all
Not
around
tonight.
you, my
Okay,
dude.
cool.
They are all around you. They are
Lovely.
everywhere. And somehow, as you continue to look amongst your cohorts, no one else seems to hear the voice.
And it's just a voice, I can't see anything.
Yep, it's just a voice. It sounded just as I said, Ephestiel. There are dangers on this path that you walk. Hephaestial, it is dangerous. Please make it stop. Stop the dangers, Hephaestial. The terrors. The terrors, they frighten us so.
He's very overwhelmed with emotions already, and hearing this just kind of sends him over the edge, and he grabs his head and he hits his knees to the floor. In almost a panic state, he's breathing heavily.
Ophestial? Are you okay?
I don't know. I don't know. I hear something. Something's talking to me.
Lena would move over and kind of kneel down by you. What are they saying?
They're asking. They're asking me to get them, to save them, and make the pain go away. I don't know. I can't see anything.
Lena,
Yes.
roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. Okay. 11.
Lena, I'm frightened. Lena, I'm frightened. I'm frightened. There's a voice now in your ears as well.
She tries her best to try and pinpoint where the voices are coming from.
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Oh, 18.
You know how your caravan is currently surrounded by a thin layer of mist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's all around you. But so is the mist. The mist is also all around you. You don't recognize this voice. You've never heard this voice before.
Would I be able to tell if it's like, is it young, like male, female, other?
Roll me.
What does it lean toward?
This is gonna sound a little weird. Roll me. I'm gonna go with a nature check.
Okay. Nature. Ooh. I'm not a nature person. 12.
It sounds higher in pitch. Perhaps a child? Perhaps not. It's a little difficult to distinguish. And the more that you listen, the more that it almost sounds uncanny. Roll me another wisdom save.
Uh-oh. A 5.
Not only do they grow louder, they grow more urgent. Lena, make him stop! Make the Batman stop! Lena, I'm scared! And I would like you to take 5 points of psychic damage.
On my brain. Oh no. She grabs the side of her head for a second. It's like, oh, I hear it too. And she's kind of holding her head, just got hit with the worst frontal lobe headache of her life. She has a realization based on what the voice said, oh, this is a reaction, I think. Oh. She didn't say anything right now because obviously they're dealing with something, but she momentarily kind of looks up toward Branson's direction for a moment. But will otherwise reach out a hand to try and help Ophestial up.
Did I miss something?
Well, Lena was reaching out a hand to help Alfestiel up.
Okay. That's what I thought, and then I went really quiet. I was like, wait, did I miss
Yeah,
something?
no,
Did I
sorry.
miss something else?
I said something, and then I don't think my mic picked it up, and then it was
Oh,
just
no.
awkwardly quiet.
Oh no! What did you
Nothing
say?
too big. Yeah, he'll take her hand, and get up, and I know they can't really make eye contact, but he squeezes it really tightly. Do you hear it too?
Yes, they sound scared and in pain. I have a feeling what may have caused it.
What do you think?
I'm not sure if you heard it, but it was crying in pain and saying, "Make the bad man stop."
Yeah,
You could,
I heard something similar.
I can't pinpoint a voice, but it sounds like it's all around us. There's only one other thing right now that's all around us, out of the ordinary.
At this point, would Rosvan's conversation with Branson finish?
Correct.
Rosvan will pick up his hat, slowly put it back on, kind of look up, taking a deep breath into the mist-covered path, before trying to find a measure of composure and a smile, and head back towards the other two.
Good job there, Rosvan.
Is
I think your mic cut you off again there, Kaz. We only got is.
well, is Brunson gonna be okay?
I think so, but I believe he wants an audience for us to all communicate together. If you don't mind taking a few steps off the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nietzsche, we'll need a
Yeah.
few moments.
Take your time.
Lena will nod and head along over.
And Rosvan will come over to just a patch of unceremonious grass, and just sit down on the ground.
Lena will kind of drive the halberd a little bit into some loamy soil just to give something a little bit to lean on.
Well, Branson, we're all here.
You watch as he just takes his head out of his hands, like a lot of the emotion has just been drained from his face. He's just, in a sense, it wouldn't take much of an insight to realize that he's basically just numb at this point. But he's just going to go, if we are going to get to Skald, there is much that we'll need to do, and we will not have Humphrey for it. I also realize we have not explained to you some very important things, and depending on the cruelty of this land, someone will still need to know about them and attend to them, should the worst happen. So you're gonna watch as he reaches in. Well, he's gonna get a little bit more attentive as he realizes something and goes, and he just motions for Lena to move a little closer, so that way Lychee's line of sight is obstructed as he's kind of motioning that this is kind of secretive.
Ah, okay. Yeah, she will absolutely move up.
Yeah. And you will watch as... Could you bring up the image again, Saris? Of,
Sure.
Thank you.
Which one?
The amulet.
Sure.
Yep. You'll watch as he pulls out this big platinum sun-shaped amulet with a big, I believe, amethyst in the center. I'll see when the image
It's
comes
not
up.
an amethyst. It's not an amethyst.
Gotcha. Oh, ruby. Gotcha. But yeah, on that chain, the thing that's very alarming is that this very expensive looking like reliquary is split cleanly down the middle. We have been told that this is the Amulet of Ravenkind. It is apparently some powerful holy relic from outside the mists. We have been charged by a sect of protectors in this realm that are very secret. They lie within the Nature's Guild. Shallow Mim told us they were the Order of the Wing, or Feather. I'm trying to remember.
Keepers of the Feather.
Keepers of the Feather. I always forget it. Yeah. The Keepers of the Feather. One of our jobs is to properly get this mended and hope that we can make it retain its magical power that's slowly been leaking. This is probably the most important thing for our group. As I said, this is a secretive organization, so one of our jobs when we get there is to enter the Nature's Guild and find fellow members of this order. That'll be one of the first things we have to do when we get there. I know that you do not know the password to get into the Nature's Guild, so I must share this to both of you. And forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, I believe it is Amige.
Yep.
So I'll keep that very much at heart. Besides, when we get there, I will basically be openly declaring that I will fight any werewolf when I get my weapon silvered. I'm not sure which of you would also need this service, but part of my payment is being introduced to such an individual, as well as someone that can mend this, and someone who could help me create a portrait of my quarry.
Lena looks back to her halberd behind her and says, well, if you're going to be making that kind of declaration, that might be something I need to do as well.
True. I would hate to drag you further into any messes.
Before we potentially move down this point of conversation, if it was not mentioned already, not obvious, Branson's reason for entering the mists was to find a villain of some sort. As a result, he has been restless in his pursuit.
It has been my only goal for the last 5 years. I will find him. Luckily, from what I've parsed, at least there are people who know how to deal with him, as he just gestures over to Lychee. I almost thought that this land was only plagued by werewolves. I guess I will be very busy.
There are dangers that lurk throughout all these lands. There's no particular safe haven here.
But you have been raised here, no?
Yes.
How many summers have you survived?
A good few.
And this current state of affairs, not only with the mists, but with what we have heard thus far, is normal for Kartakas?
Off the beaten path has always been very dangerous here. Be it like mentions of were creatures, be it horrific things that lurk in the mists. Obviously, places like Skald and Harmonia are safe, to a degree, but then again, there's also other problems you have to deal with there. I would assume it could be considered the same for wherever you came from. If one is not careful, a misstep can lead to an early grave. Though, I I guess I don't really have a comparison point out of this world. Admittedly, I only just learned that other worlds exist thanks to y'all.
Forgive me for prying. I am merely trying to understand exactly how to
No,
proceed
no.
forward.
No, it's perfectly fine. You could ask literally anything you desire, and I will try my best to answer it.
Lena, as well as Ophestiel, when we first arrived to Carthagus, we had no idea that's we arrived or how we got here. Certainly not the intention of our arrival here. There were 4 of us. We had another friend, a Tabaxikin named Onyx. Onyx and Humphrey, they wanted and thought of little more than returning to their homes. And thus, as the mist brought us here, it hopefully brought them back home. Now it is just us 2, at least from the original that came here. Branson has his purpose, and he will see it done no matter what lies ahead. But I am somewhat shy to ask. Once we arrive at Skald, there is little reason for either of you to continue on Branson's journey. Unless I am mistaken.
I could go my separate way if I desired, certainly. This is just a job. However, you have a 40-pound link to something that has my utmost attention. And once you do something with it, Branson is going to have a mark on his head from that group. I know it. They just find ways to know. And that means if I stick close to Branson, I'll find out what I want.
That does make sense to me.
Oh,
What of
I
you?
see it's mutual beneficial. Sorry.
No.
Oh, she would say it was just it would be mutually beneficial for me to help you as well.
Of course, you're more than welcome. Help has been already invaluable. But what of you, Ophestiel?
He balls up his sleeve and wipes some remnants of tears from his eyes, still processing everything. Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, I really have no reason to go back home, because I really don't know where that is. And I told you before, but I think the man that Branson's hunting is the one that brought me here, and that surely can't be a coincidence.
And you would run towards them, not away from them.
Thing is, when I was really, really young, I lost my family. And they could still be alive. They could be dead. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where I came from. I don't know. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I think if I was to separate from you guys, I don't know if I would survive by myself. So if you will have me, I will stay and be as helpful as I possibly can.
We are, of course, more than welcome. But you are, of course, more than welcome to stay with us. But where we travel is certainly not safe.
Well, considering I am usually very at home in the woods, this one has made it very clear that we are not welcome. And it's honestly been nice to have your company, even if it hasn't been under the best of circumstances. I know it's not safe. I will be 100% less safe if I was to leave.
Seeing Ophistiel's nerve, as well as seeing Branson still, I imagine, feeling a good bit numb, Razvan will take out a bottle of wine and a few wood cups. We'll pour one for Ophistiel and hand it to him, one for Lena, hand it to her, one for himself, and then in the fourth cup he'll pour some ale he's been keeping on the side and hand that to Branson.
I am trying so hard not to make a One Piece reference right now.
We know. If you know, you know.
Well then, you'll watch as Branson just takes a big slug of like half of his ale. Lena, you said that if we are going to be traveling together, we will have to have some kind of name. Now seems as good a time as any to settle on one.
Yes, being able to address ourselves as a party unit typically has its benefits, and how places operate, as you've seen. People introduce themselves as groups. People are known as groups.
Well,
Yeah, considering you brought it forward, I assume you have an idea or two.
well, I have the two that I proposed back in Melancholy, and with what Lena was saying, I have a third. Though, it more leans into exactly what you said about traveling with at least me, putting a target on us that will attract exactly what you're looking for, that it might work. So, like I said before, we are what we are, a group of strays, so why not just be called that? We are also, as made so painfully aware earlier, nearly all of us begotten by the mist, so why not the mist begotten? And finally, the dangerous option. He just hefts the amulet one more time before putting it away. The raven kind.
Lena, roll me a.
Let's go with a history check.
History, you got it. And 9.
You feel like you've heard something about ravens, but like it's just escaping you. There's something about ravens. Ravens, man.
Lot of emotions running high right now, so
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, but like there's something about ravens. You don't know what it is. It's on the tip of your tongue. You wish you could just reach out and grab it, but
she's an owl person. You gotta understand.
yeah, well.
She would say, I think those names are one of those definitely could work.
Then I propose a toast. Whatever we decide to come up with, whatever we decide to settle on. Where I am from, we propose a sharing of drinks, breaking of bread, spilling of wine, with the answering of a question. So if you will indulge me for but a moment. There will be a time where each and every one of us does not wake up. And my questions are thus. Who will mourn you on that day? Who will cry at your passing? Who will pick up your sword and continue your fight? I raise my glass to each of you, as I believe, truly, with my heart, and all the blood that fills in it. The answer to that question is all of you.
you'll see, like, hearing specifically that, Branson will have a dark and a bit mournful look as he thinks back to what he saw in the Hall of Mirrors, and then he's going to just take a really big slug and finish the rest of his ale as he toasts.
To us, whatever name we decide, wherever we end up going.
Lena would raise a glass to that.
Festial's eyes are welling up with tears again as he's trying to crack a very shaky smile, but he raises his glass as well.
Aye, we did meet. This is rough. Not only what we have encountered thus far upon the road, but Humphrey was a beating heart for all of us. Despite how strange he might look and might rest, he added a sense of normalcy to this place that very often makes little sense. But perhaps that is what we need now. The truth is painful. The pursuit of it equally so. It's ugly, it's uncomfortable, it's often fleeting. Bitter and iron to the taste. I think that's what we're all feeling now, to some degree. As before, I can certainly admit to feeling the comfort of complacency, ignorance, and the lies that things will get better somehow. It was like a sweet wine on a summer's day. But I vow to all three of you, my palate shall only be that, not of wine, but whatever bitter reality is ahead of us. I'll be more focused now, Branson. I promise.
I will make sure to protect as best I can, and I'm used to living with a target on my back. I will have to learn how to protect others from getting so. And he'll just swig back whatever last swishes are in his cup.
Despite the ailment that has been placed upon me, I will do my best, and you have my sword. Or my halberd, as it were. I may not be all that talented in ways of magic or certain esoteric things, but I know a lot about the world I call home, and will do my best to give you what information I can.
You've been pretty straightforward with us. You've kept all of whatever cards you might hold close to your chest open for us to read whenever we need. I appreciate that trust, and we'll repay it in kind. But, Festiel, is there anything you needed to express?
I know I'm not much of a fighter, but whatever abilities I have that you may make use of, I will lend them willingly. No matter what.
You seem troubled, more in pain than I suppose I would have suspected.
I suppose I should be used to these sort of things by now, but I've spent a lot of my time alone. And I know it was very brief, but Humphrey was grounding, in a way, as of all of you. But having someone just disappear like that, I admit I'm rattled. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Maybe I should. But more than that, I appreciate your companionship. That, more than anything, means the world to me right now.
Your companionship is equally as welcome to us, of course. But if there is nothing else we need to express or share, perhaps we try to make way our path further towards Skald.
I
There's
think
never.
that is a. Oh, go ahead.
You'll just watch as Branson just like hands back the cup to Rosvan, and just like pushes himself up. There is never a good time to mourn, but this place will kill us soon, so let us leave.
True. And Rosvan, to his promise to Branson, will leave his bottle of rosé and any other wine he has there on the ground and head back to the caravan.
Okay.
Rosvan, did you climb up on the top of the roof?
Yeah, he's a menace. No, he's gonna go to the front.
It's about to say,
Well, no. I mean, if you wanted to.
I don't know. He would like probably go inside of the wagon if there's room. If not, he'll go to the front.
Okay.
Branson will check to make sure that see if Lychee decided to get up and take the bucket off the top of the wagon.
Yeah, Lychee was actually going to, whoever was closest, tap. I guess it would be, in this case, it would be Branson would just tap you on the shoulder and be like, I don't want to travel and have that bucket fall and make a lot of noise.
You'll
We've already got ourselves in a bit of a precarious situation. I think it would be best if we eliminate potential straggly, shall we say, unnecessary.
halfway between him saying that Branson's already climbed up and grabbed the bucket and reattached it to his belt.
Amazing.
Acrobatics check.
Oh boy. While my boy has the reflexes of a snake, he does not have the coordination.
Bucket's got hands.
Yeah, 15.
All right, you were able to climb up on the top of the wagon with no problem. The bucket is there.
He will grab it, slightly lower it down to the seat of the front wagon, climb back down, and then, as said, attach it to his belt like he usually did.
Did you look inside?
He probably would have seen by grabbing it, so
Yeah, there's something inside.
It's
What
a
do I
smaller
find?
bucket.
You find a pendant. A brooch, if you will. A clasp, if you will. It belonged to Humphrey.
Oh. Branson will look at forlornly and realize, again, he'll think back to the images in the last image in the mirrors. And he'll mutter to himself, I'd hoped you would escape a fate similar to this. And he is just going to take the brooch and under his breastplate attach it. And then lower the bucket down and then climb down and take a position for the caravan.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you all want to do before you continue to move forward?
I think we're pretty much good to go.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Because
I've got nothing.
Because as
The lot of you continue to move further into down the road. You find yourself going further into the mists. They become thicker.
as if you have to physically part them yourselves, as they seem to just waft over all of you, rolling, not stopping. It is at this point that I would like all of you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy. If I roll a 15, this is gonna be fucking hilarious. Nope, 18.
Okay. It's quiet. Eerily quiet. Lena and Ephestial, you do not hear a voice of any kind. And in fact, as you walk in silence, you start to almost wonder if the sound of the monotonous rolling of wheels is starting to fade in and of itself. But as you look, sure enough, it's right there. Wheels are moving. And you continue. And you continue. And it grows thicker. And it grows thicker. I would like all of you now to roll me perception checks.
21.
That's a 7.
4.
This feels oddly appropriate. Rosvan.
Only you hear this. As you continue to wander, seemingly aimlessly, in the mists, Rosvan, despite being on the back of the caravan, you hear a voice in your ear go, "Turn right."
I'll kind of look behind him as though to see if there's anyone behind him.
You don't see anything, just a bunch of mist, although you could perception check with disadvantage if you would like to look a little harder.
18.
Yeah, it's funny. You look into the mist, and at first you don't see anything. But as you continue to stare, you start to see a visage of a woman. For a moment, you recognize this visage. You saw this visage before. This is the visage in the water. And just as the water washed over the body, you saw that illusion, whatever it was, you see it more corporeal now than it was before, until the mist seemed to roll over top of this woman and vanish.
Wait,
Your voice echoes.
Did anyone else see her?
Does anyone else see her?
I assume
You're all right there. You're all right there. It's hard to see each other, but you can hear each other, and you can hear the echo.
What was that?
What was that?
Did you hear her too?
Did you hear her too?
This place is surprisingly echoey for a non-cave.
This place is surprisingly echoey for a non-cave.
This again.
This again.
Voice I heard said to turn right.
Turn right.
He'll just turn to Lychee and Lena and be like, I'm going to assume there's not a lot of good folklore about the Misk talking.
The Miss what now? The Miss what now? You see Lychee in real time hear the echo of his own voice and just kind of freeze.
He'll also see that Branson gives this look on his face to, every time he's come to Lychee for, questions about the world, he always seems to just, blow his mind. At this point, Branson's just like, why do I keep asking this guy things? And then just turns to Lena.
Good question. Are there rumors about this? I ask.
History with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
As Lena's thinking about this, 33 thirsty, thundering thoroughbreds stumped on a Thursday.
San, I'm gonna need you to type that out for me.
13.
You've never heard stories in your entire life of the mists talking? The mists are just mists. Now, you've heard stories of people becoming lost to the mists, lost to the night, but you've never heard anything about them talking? In fact, it makes you question, it even makes you question the instance that you heard earlier. You're not even necessarily certain that that was the mists. It just so happened that you couldn't see anything but the mists, and once again, you could only see the mists. So, really, you've never heard of anything like it. Again, the mists are just mists.
She'll just shrug. She'll just shrug it and say, "Haven't heard anything like this before."
I haven't heard anything like this before. And then, as a delayed response, you do hear 33 thirsty, thundering thoroughbreds thump on a Thursday. But, like, coming from in front of you.
I really hate that everywhere we go, we discover something unsettling about this place.
The acoustics could be worse.
Considering we live in a
How
land
worse?
Clearly you have not performed in the halls of Baldur's Gate.
Dead silence.
But it does not appear that there's any immediate way to turn right, so maybe there is a fork in the road upcoming?
Roll a perception check, all of you. With a
Right.
disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
That's still pretty good. 16.
It's a 3.
6.
A 9.
You know, this really makes sense, especially for you, Ephestial. I like to imagine you're just a little ball of anxiety gripping onto the cart.
Yeah, head empty right now.
Branson, you don't really see much outward, but you look to your feet and the road goes straight ahead. Or at least where you're currently standing. And probably about solid 5 feet out, but that's about as much visibility as you currently have.
Well, we have roughly 5 feet of workable vision in this mist, so keep an eye on the ground instead of ahead. See if it forks, and if so, then we decide if we trust the disembodied voice of a woman that only Razvan can hear. At that point, Branson will just be like, good talk, and then he'll just turn around and just start moving forward.
Not much else I can suppose that can be done about it, but he'll say aloud, if I'm going to have a wonderful woman's whispering into my ear, I'd much rather earn the pleasure than it to be happened in such a strange place.
Sorry to disappoint you. And, like, the voice that comes out is, like, super masculine and bassy.
Oh, that works too? Am I speaking to someone in particular?
Dead silence.
Very well, I've understand. It might be a bit shy to meet strange individuals in the woods, but my name is Razvan Fleur. We don't mean any harm if that is what you were worried about.
Roll me a wisdom save with advantage.
17.
You recognize for a moment something is toying with you, but you don't know if it's in good faith or not. As you hear another voice, this time closer, non-echoey, in your own voice, I do recommend that you turn right.
Well, if you do not have a name, or do what would you give your name, I have no other reason to mistrust you. If there is a reason to turn right, I suppose we will. Just know that when I write a poem about this whole affair upon the road, it would be much nicer to have a name to attach to. Such a lovely singing voice.
Dead silence. But then
Yeah.
for a moment you hear such a lovely singing voice.
Really sound like that? Ugh. I know we do not have sails, but full speed ahead, my friends.
Full speed ahead. I couldn't help it.
Eventually, you continue along your way, and everything goes very quiet once again. I would like you all once again to roll me a perception check, but this time with advantage as you have refocused yourself.
Right.
21.
Perception.
7.
20.
And 12.
There reaches a point where the road itself the road itself continues straight, and yet you watch as the mists open up just a little bit. You see it kind of at your feet, one going straight forward, one going to the right, and one going to the left.
Well, Mr. Ricci and Lena, any perceptions on this fork in the road?
There is a right turn that could be taken.
True, but I do not know if you or Ricci have ever encountered this particular path.
I cannot say I have.
Ricci?
Give me 2 seconds to cough.
Sarah's coughing away from the mic like a professional.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, yeah, the road goes straight. I mean, even the little bit that I can see seems to go straight, but it looks like it branches to the right and to the left, as if going straight into the woods.
Razan will take the position at the reins.
Okay.
Something to know about me, Mr. Ricci. I rarely go straight. I don't go to the right.
You go to the right. It's odd. You expect the ground to be difficult, right? Somehow it's smoother than the road.
That's a good sign.
You keep moving forward. And there is a moment where you swear it's impossible. Like, the trees, they should be able to, you should be hitting trees right now. You don't see any. It's almost like you've left the woods entirely.
Huh.
Happy to have some strange wanderlust. He's gonna keep moving the caravan forward.
Okay. You continue to move the caravan forward.
Eventually, it opens up. The mists once again open up. And you notice, this is incredibly odd. Razvan, you recognize this place sort of, kind of. The few trees that you do notice, the corruption that all of a sudden is there. It's odd. This is miles away from where you've been, where you were going. You find yourself stopped in front of a tree that's wrapped around, like, its roots, and its stump is entangled around what looks to be a grave.
And you said the site is familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Is this that spot that we found the, like, scroll of commune with nature on that one dead guy?
Correct. As you look. Sorry?
I was just gonna say, Branson's gonna throw his head back, let out a big sigh. I hate this land!
But you notice, unlike before, actually, it is like before in a way, but it's different because you check your person. That scroll in that journal is still there. The stuff that you looted off of the grave is still in your person. There's what appears to be a torn piece of parchment laying on the grave.
Alright. Seeing that, Branson will first go, alright, this is another weird phenomenon that we are apparently becoming regulars with, Lychee, so give me a second, I have to go over there and make sure it's safe. As he'll just watch as he hefts his axe out of its, like, holster.
I believe at this point, my friend Branson, if we had a day that didn't have a strange phenomenon, that would be, in fact, a strange phenomenon.
You're going to watch him give you the most deadpan look of, I am trying my hardest not to shoot you down right now. You are making it very hard. After the day he's had, he doesn't want to snap at people, but you're trying him. Oh, but yes, Branson is just going to roll his eyes then, and just be like, Lena, make sure to guard the front of the caravan while I'm away. This will be but a moment, hopefully.
Can do.
All right, and I will zoom out to make sure that you didn't add a tree or something here.
It's so true.
Nope. The map itself is still the same.
Okay.
It is to sell the illusion.
Oh, you are fine. I was just making sure I wasn't missing
Nope,
something.
I understand and I appreciate it, but you come across that gravestone and you fully approach it, and yeah,
You can clearly see it now. A piece of paper torn.
Okay, here's a quick question, because I think we checked the name on the grave before, but if anyone wrote it down, it was definitely not me, and Branson wouldn't have cared to remember the guy's name. But now Branson's going to actively read this grave.
The name on the gravestone says Hector Graythorn, and I will write it for you.
Hector. Not worthy of an epitaph, it would seem. But what do you want us to know? That you have us trekked to your grave on multiple occasions. As he starts looking over the scrap of paper.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you permissions.
Ooh.
You will find it in your journal.
Okay, just wanted to wait. What's it titled?
HG journal entry number
Okay.
13.
Okay, I'm just trying to see here. There it is. I'm blind. Ahem, I will read this for the stream. 24th day of the 8th moon. Research into the name has proven rather difficult, when few even understand, let alone believe in the existence of magic. The prospect of the name carrying more power behind it than a reputation seems to just be some fabled story, accepted less than the rumors of any known bard. But to that point, the idea that any bard would have magic beyond the power of influence seems to be a mark of particular education. Or a marked experience. Perhaps these two things are related. Perhaps they aren't. But in a world where reputation is more valuable than currency, how is it that those who carry notable names and power know nothing of the magical properties of the name? The only town that seems to have any semblance of recognition is a little town that couldn't be found on any map. A town of what seems like miserable misfits, Meistersinger Sargrove, seems to recognize magics, and their steps seem to be coated in red haze. Such a thing couldn't possibly be natural, not by my understanding of the world. Oh, not by my understanding of the world. Sorry, I just lost my place there. As little as it may be. The other bards I've met here all seem to have the capacity to employ magic, though there are few in general. And the average folks here seem completely turn a blind eye, if not ignoring, the abnormality that is active magic use. Even the Druids Guild seems well informed on magical properties of nature and natural magics, yet, despite their town being so culturally focused on names and dissolving anonymity, not a single person here seems to acknowledge any property on the name. Perhaps these are solely the lamentations of a researcher. However, I would expect a land full of music and theater to be brimming with magical talent and history. I would expect a land full of rumor and oral story to be teeming with shared cultural knowledge. Perhaps it might do me well to see if there's a system of education this world has in this world, and how entrenched magic is in that system. Perhaps Skald or Harmonia have the answers to which I seek. HG. Alright, and having read that, not being anywhere near smart enough to fully comprehend half of that, you're just going to hear him mutter under his... Well, actually, no one will hear him, but he's just going to mutter under his breath, "My kingdom for a wizard."
My kingdom for a wizard.
You're just gonna...
It echo the voice of Branson echoes around you all.
At which point you'll probably hear another echo of, "Stop that, you!"
Stop that, you.
All right. He's gonna then... Since magic seems weird and strange here, it's strange to the Mist, might as well try something. I have to actually start thinking about it more than myself now. And he'll look at the grave as he's folding up the piece of paper, and he'll just go, "Amiga."
Nothing happens. However, as you say that, the mists begin to roll over the grave and begin to shroud the tree.
Till we meet again, Hector. At which point, Branson will stand up, dust himself off, because I assume he had to get down on his knees to get that note.
Yup.
And he will head back. All right, well, I have a cryptic journal entry from a dead man, who I believe was a wanderer of the mists.
That's nice.
Yes, apparently magic's really weird here. And a big problem with that is also no one ever wants to talk about it unless they're in melancholy.
I suppose that is useful to know.
It's also apparently a very good thing that we did not fight Meistersinger Sargrove.
The good thing we did not had no intention of it, of course, but why?
Well, apparently they are worth noting in this letter, and the phrase "red haze" follows them. I do not like the implication of that.
I suppose we'll have to take the word of a dead man.
Yes.
But
Hmm?
what are the chances if we go back the way we came, we wind up back where we started?
I say we're probably going to wind up wherever the Mist fucking wants us at this point.
Eh? At least it's forward somewhere.
Yes, though. He'll say... He's going to look around the group and try to figure something out. First of all, he's like, his immediate thought is to look to Lena. Then he realizes that handing the note to a blind woman is the height of foolishness. Then he will look to Razvan, realize Razvan is a magic man, but not an intellectual. I'll say to use a fair word.
Hey, he went to college.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to art school.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Bard College, which is like that's the equivalent of going, yeah, he went to college. DeVry. Then he'll look to Ophestiel and scratch his head because Branson knows druids are supposed to be wise and sagely. He doesn't know where they land on the wizard scale. And then finally he'll be like, first, Lychee, do you want to try making heads or tails of this? Because I feel like you would be the person who I should gauge your reaction to things and how shocked you are by it.
I mean, I can look at it. I can't promise I can decipher it if it's some type of weird puzzle.
Well, it's not so much a puzzle, it's just it's talking about a whole lot of... It's talking about things that you might be able to enlighten on, because the person here is questioning about basic education and, like, cultural norms that I would have no source of reference.
I mean, if it has anything to do with Amherst, I don't know anything about Amherst.
No, it only actually mentions Melancholy, not by name, and Harmonia and Skald. It's more just talking about generally being in Carthagus.
Hmm.
And he will unfold it and hand it to him.
He looks over it. I'm gonna do some rolls. Hold on a second.
Yeah, this looks appropriate.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what at all they're talking about. I mean, yeah, reputation is a thing. I mean, anyone who has any sort of social gain has a name, has a reputation. They're back, but I don't know why he keeps capitalizing the word name.
Then you're gonna watch Branson's eyes go wide and he's just gonna be like, fucking damn it. I know who the name is. And I'm not dumb enough that I'm going to say it here, surrounded by the mists. You remember when I mentioned the phrase, I asked you a question about the lord of this land?
Yeah.
Well, we were told to hold the name of someone who is supposedly dead who ruled over this land, and yet you know nothing of it, so I think the name is purposely obscured from certain social circles.
Who, Lucas?
He's just going to turn to him and be like, yes!
Bruh.
Hang on,
You
where's that
mean
meme?
the old innkeeper?
He's just going to... The what?
The innkeeper. He runs the old Cardigan Inn in Skald. I know you mentioned him before, but
Lena just like looks like this.
I would say you should never go to that inn ever again if you value things, because we were expressly told. Never interact with that person.
I mean, I know he's grouchy and he's a little rude sometimes, but I don't see what the problem is.
At this point, Brent's just gonna be like, you know what? No, I am tired of
Wait.
today. I am tired of today. We can just start walking and deal with all of the stupid things tomorrow morning. I just want to get out of here.
Lena's trying to rack her brain if maybe there's just a confusion of names going on here.
If you want to roll an insight on Branson, you're if you're consenting, you're welcome. But
Yeah, no, go
Well,
right.
no. I think it's Lychee like mistaken like who we're trying to talk to, and then there's like a shared like surname potentially.
Go ahead and roll the dice. Like
Okay.
roll an insight.
Let me do this. Let's see, insight. Ooh.
I mean, as far as you're concerned, it's possible. It's also possible that he's talking about exactly who you think he's talking about.
It's also the fact that we are only given a name, specific instructions on not to use it in public or pretend to be that person, and that person would never lie about their name. That's all we were told, but in hushed tones by a member of a secret society. So at this point, Brandon's like, I can't ask any further defining questions. I have no further information. I just know I'm not going to that fucking inn.
I will say on that, even on that 7 insight, Lychee is very confused and mildly humored. He kind of looks to the lot of you, then looks to Ephestial, and Lychee says, "But I do know one thing. He does serve pretty good alcohol, and I feel like sorry. I feel like you, Ephestial, would really appreciate a good ale that kind of calms the nerves."
Kaz, if Ophestial answered, none of that came through.
Damn it.
Oh no.
I don't know. I think my mic's dying.
No.
Yeah. Perhaps you're right, sir.
Well, I mean, I don't know what your collective issue is in this, but I mean, I can't make heads nor tails about what this journal entry is talking about. I don't know why they've got name capitalized. I don't know why. If you're saying what you're saying, I don't understand why they would want to censor Harkin Lucas's name. He's just a I don't even know what you're on about. He's just an innkeeper. I've heard you guys talking about him before. I'm a little confused as to why, but I mean, he's a grouchy old man who runs an inn.
Rosman's gonna kind of cackle to himself and just lean back in his seat with the reins kind of resting on his lap.
Helena would just be like, just an innkeeper? She looks a little bewildered.
Yeah, he's just an innkeeper.
At this point, Branson's gonna step
Huh.
back. It's just gonna be like, no. He just want to watch the interaction between two people from this land who he's constantly using as a reference point to it, and always confusing him, confusing each other. He's just gonna be like, no, you figure this out yourselves. Go ahead. This isn't my. This is not my circus.
Lena would be like, I've heard so many stories of a person by that name being the old Dreadlord, she would say. You're saying they're an innkeeper.
What's a dreadlord? I've never heard of such a thing. We've just got Meister singers.
All right, Lena's kind of pale in color right now, but she probably turns a couple shades paler. She's like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. If I'm gonna be completely honest, last time I heard, all of the cities were governing themselves via their Meister singer. I don't. Dreadlord?
No, Branson's actually is just now getting that what's the name of that comedian from the Hangover movies? Zach Galifianakis. You know that scene where he starts having all the algebra around his head. Branson just realized something, and he's just like everything in the context of that. Then he remembered one very important thing. Lena has a large span of missing time. And Branson just realized, oh, this place is the worst. He'll just be like, Lychee, can I have 5 minutes? Just water the animal. I need to talk to Lane. I think I've answered my own question. If you wouldn't mind me taking back the paper.
I mean, you can have the paper back anytime. But the mists are moving, and we should continue moving as well. If you two are gonna talk, let's walk and talk.
Fine.
That's perfectly fine. Yes.
Branson's going to move along next to us as we start picking back up the trail.
Yep.
Just...
And as you are just to fill in really quickly, as you are walking, you find yourselves trekking back, and Razvan and Branson, at some point you stop being able to recognize the woods. But eventually you are led back to a clearing. Well, it's not a proper clearing, but that clearing in woods where like a trail would be, where the road would be, and you see the road where you last left it. And that three-way can either go straight forward and take what would have earlier been the left, or you can move straight forward on the path.
Well, I've certainly heard stories of more eventful three-ways. Down the central path, then.
That at which point, no, Branson's just gonna turn. Okay, that was just crass.
Yeah.
Lychee is actively choking on his on the water from his water skin.
But yeah, while consensus for the direction is being decided, Branson's just going to quietly, so that only Humphrey probably would have overheard if he was still here. Oh, I miss him. Oh, I feel the brooch. It's still in my armor. Okay. But he'll just go, Lena, I think I have realized something that is going to probably shake a bit of your understanding of your world.
Fuck you, I heard that.
What?
Okay.
I'm kidding.
What is that? She says, still kind of like recovering from the knowledge that like someone that she was that was rumored to be feared now runs a fucking innkeep. Go ahead.
So I remember you explaining very, very lately about how you became the way you currently are, correct?
Yes.
And I remember you lightly touching on, but you may want to expound upon a bit of how, in the process of becoming what you are, you have a certain amount of missing time.
Yes.
Well, as he holds up the note and he'll read off, and I need to pull back up. I'm stupid, but
I got you. I can hit this again.
I got it. There we go. Okay. Oh, wrong button. There we go. I'm being stupid. Zoom in. There we go. Perhaps these are solely the lamentations of a researcher. However, I would expect a land full of music and theater to be brimming with magical talent and history. I would expect a land full of rumor and oral story to be teeming with shared cultural knowledge. Perhaps it might do well to see is there a system of education in this world, and how entrenched the magic is into that system. While I am not a scholar or as smart as the wizard who once attempted to teach me things, I believe that while you were indisposed and becoming what you were, I think your Dreadlord pulled off a way to make himself no longer part of the cultural knowledge. He's hiding in plain sight.
I see. She says, just like kind of like doing like the bit where she's like holding her hands together, like almost in like a prayer stance, but it's like right in front of her mouth.
Yeah, the concerned face. I know.
Um, and she's like, yes, 'cause, being told the previous ruler of this land before everything happened, suddenly running a humble inn is not exactly something that you hear about. But that leads to the curiosity of why do I still know this information if everybody else appears to have totally forgotten?
Well, not everyone has forgotten. I think it's people of a certain age. You now have the existential problem of how old are you really? How many summers have you lived through?
Oh, I
Because
was being a little cheeky earlier because asking a lady her age and stuff, but I'm only 29. I'm I may be or was an elf at some point. Maybe still am. I'm still figuring that out. I think I'm still that age? Question mark. She says, very, very concerned.
yeah, Brant's just gonna go. I don't want to harm you, but I would say you would probably have better luck answering your own question if you were to say, cut your arm and count the rings.
She gets the joke as she kind of chortles a little laugh
That
there.
that wasn't even really a joke. That was more of him just being like, "No, I think you were putting Chrono sleep."
Oh, that would be concerning.
I mean-
it like sets in after a minute, but like the lumberjack humor hits her first.
Yeah, but it's more like, listen, since we are going to be looking into the cult with you and finding out what they did, we should also try to find out how long it took, because the only person who seemed to have knowledge of the Dreadlord, as you call him, was Shallow Mim, who was a person of indeterminate age hiding behind a mask.
I
But
see.
yes, so I believe only people of a certain age and possibly certain level of power were kept in the know. I would imagine probably the heads of the Blood Moon Guild.
Hmm.
But yes, that being said, it is now a cardinal rule. Unless the world around us is falling apart, we are never going to that inn.
Oh
And-
boy, cool inn. Let me go inside.
No,
Branson,
Raspa! Don't go into the. Don't go into the
Harvey,
weed.
no!
I was trying to find a way to make it. No, little German boy, don't go into the weed cave, but I couldn't. But yeah, and I want you to understand. I want you to understand the seriousness of what I am saying. The only places I have ever had any interaction with people since my tragedy has been inns. I do not turn away from a bar for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact I am telling you this means that if I see you try to walk into it, you are more likely to have your arms cut off.
I wasn't planning on going in there, she says. I now have a new existential crisis to consider. Thank you.
Man, it feels so... After having this happen to me for 3 years in a different game, it feels so weird doing it to someone else.
It's like, thank you for bestowing the existential crisis that I might not be my current age. Thank you.
Talking
She
to
says
my
she's
therapist.
joking. She's smiling and joking.
Crying.
But yeah, after saying that, he'll... Through the course of the events, whenever we do take breaks, he's going to start explaining that to the rest of the party, quietly, away from Lychee. A man who might go and tell the funny haha to the Dreadlord, who will then take even more aggressive attention in us.
So this is where I ask a very, very pertinent question.
Uh-huh.
Were you whispering that conversation?
Yes, he
Stealth
was...
checks, both of you.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Still.
The fighter and the cleric are doing stealth checks. Oh no, the 6.
Oh no.
Okay.
Actually, no, I have an inspiration. I'm fucking using it. I don't care about death saves at the moment. I care about existential fate saves. That's 20!
Ooh!
Wow, coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, now I know what I'm doing in 2 weeks' time.
Because for a second I thought you were going to start whispering like Homer Simpson. You were like, all right, Lena, we really need to talk about this.
While that conversation has been going on, Festial and Razvan, have you picked a direction?
Again, unfortunately, in such a cruel world, we're forced to go straight.
Yeah, well, at least it's a right turn
I'm gonna be
from
quite
where
honest.
you're going.
I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm gonna find it very funny if anyone in this anyone in this party is actually straight.
Yeah. But with that, as you choose to realign yourself with the path, I'm actually going to use this as an opportunity to take a break so that I can get some medication in my system.
Yeah.
Yes, rest and take care of yourself.
Get
Also,
medicated.
welcome, folks.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
It's been my experience, Vaughn, that most D&D campaigns, most players and NPCs are ace.
I mean, I've been with the Say by Spell team. The fact that my character is straight is more of just like, listen, he could figure something out later. He's at this point just knowing right now, like, he only had to first start thinking about his sexuality like 20 sessions ago. And then immediately stopped thinking about it because the blood cult was much more important to think about. But yeah, Chad, how you doing? I'm glad to have you all here. Also, Hatting, thanks for the raid earlier. You're still sticking around. I love how we went from, like totally horrifying existential dread in the last few episodes, and now we're into hilarious existential dread. It's also really starting to show that the second Branson has become a leader, he's now just becoming more of, I can't stand this place's shit. Why do I have...
out.
Yeah, now that I have to be, like, making sure people survive, he's like, why do I have to be in such a stupid place? Why couldn't this place be normal?
Place screams at you.
Thank you, I was about to make that joke. Well, actually, no, it most likely would echo a scream at me. And another thing I didn't say, but Branson almost did just to be stupid, is, oh, of course a land filled with bards would have good acoustics.
Damn.
If Branson was just a little bit dumber, he probably would have said that. But yeah, chat, we were definitely having a lot of discussions about what we were going to do with the group once we lost Humphrey. And I'll give you one quick insight into all those conversations. One of the biggest takeaways is when we get to Skald, I am now morally obligated to give Branson a hobby. So if you guys have any funny ideas for a hobby for Branson, put them in the chat. We already have at least 2 picked out. But since it sounds like you're still here, Skelly, I'm going to step away for a second.
From one skull to another. How you doing, Skelly? Damn, Skelly's not here. It's just me. It's just little old me.
Oh, I came back. Hi.
It's just little old me and Kaz.
I'm
Sorry,
all
it was
alone.
stuff in my face. Sorry about that. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I like the roleplay so far. It's been good. It's been good.
And I am back.
Welcome back. I love being bestowed an existential crisis of how old am I actually?
That's the worst thing about, like, certain levels of D&D, because typically technology doesn't get thrust forward super far in D&D settings. So you can be, unless there was a literal era change, you wouldn't know if you were frozen in time for a while.
That is true. That is true. And now I'm and now there's probably several people that are listening right now, and the fact that my character now could be of indeterminate extreme age cannot make it back to a specific individual, because I will hear no end of it because I did it to them.
Yeah.
It's like, how old is your character? Like mid-20s, you said? Well, no, how about actually about almost 300?
I wish Lena was more of the, like, dopey, I miss so many birthdays. Oh, that cake!
True. Also, yes, Vex knows exactly who that is.
Oh. I love that Branson's smart enough to piece together the possible mystery, but it's also, at this point, it's like, it's such a stupid mystery! It had me believing Lychee was a Mistwalker! Why are you like this? Ugh. I said the stupidest, like, thing pop into my head. And that was literally... Someone sees... A Harkin Lucas puts on a hat. The Dreadlord Harkin Lucas! Fucking Doofenshmirtz. One of these days I'll get around to actually sitting down watching Phineas and Ferb, but today is not that day. I'm so glad that there were actually a few Dread domains I didn't have spoiled for me, and that I could not have seen this coming. And the only thing I know about him is something so tertiary.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm also so glad that we figured this out before they took us to the fucking inn. Ugh. He is also just... If we run into Shallow Mim again, Branson's picking her up off the fucking ground and shaking her. Why didn't you tell us this? You gave us your religious iconography that you said we had to get repaired for the sake of this land. You couldn't have told us about the bit!
Smiles.
I think Branson's... I'm now realizing, I think Branson's gonna become a much funnier character going forward. Just in the reaction of, why is this place this way? So much for my character based on Michael Myers. Now he's turning into Michael Myers. Well, we're not trying to imagine Branson doing all the impressions that he does.
No, just Branson's gonna walk around with fucking an L face.
Yeah! Fucking Saris. I just watched that movie again the other night.
I'm back and I have tea and I have meds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, I plead the fifth.
Also,
Plead the fifth.
yeah, I've been seeing you in chat. I know you've been hearing everything and just laughing.
Yeah.
Ooh-wooing menacingly.
I don't think I didn't see you fucking Green Daying us while we were having our deep emotional moment. The worst part is the worst part is literally earlier this week I was going to put in the message because I'd heard it on like the radio from someone else's car blasting, and I realized Branson would hear that song above game and just go mood.
In my defense,
I mean-
Bubba started it.
I mean, technically, like, everybody but Lena is away from their homes in the game. So technically, you could say you're on holiday.
Listen here, you little shit.
So this has been fun, guys.
Yeah.
Catch you guys in a few weeks.
I just love that the second part of your laugh sounded like you were Zoidberging out of the room.
Oh yeah, I went over and grabbed another drink over across the room.
So I literally did just picture you do the full like Zoidberg arm flail.
I'm going for a scuttle.
Going for a scuttle.
I need you to know. When you were commenting before I came back about the like, why does this play so fucking weird? I just immediately went, it can get weirder. I just washed my hands.
Oh. But yeah, once all meds are taken and everything, I think everyone's back.
I'm good. I have inhaled a glass of water and swallowed some anti-sick medication.
Okay, then I will take us over back to the game. After I do one quick thing here, I gotta always remind people, there is a rule here about standing the homies, and people keep forgetting it. So I have to keep reminding them in chat. There you go, Rosso.
Damn, got him.
Oh. You continue to move straight.
Unfortunately.
I know, right? Having this conversation. While we're here, just on that note, because I realized I should have asked this earlier. As you all are passing around the note and discussing this, Lena, go ahead and roll me just a flat history check.
You got it.
You know, here's the thing. You remember the mention of Amherst, and you remember the mention from the note about a school system, and like, you don't know much. You're not super educated yourself, but you do know about Amherst, world-renowned Amherst, which is a Bardic college. It is a university. You also do know that a lot of the rich folks, the hoity-toity folks, have a lot of like private education and tutors. For example, in Harmonia, your homeland, a lot of folks that are looking to gain name to fame used to. You don't know if this is still practice because you've never been involved, but there used to be a thing where people would learn directly under the Meister Singer of Harmonia. But after the shall we say catastrophe that was the Sundered Heart, you actually have no idea if that's still a thing and how much was changed and then reverted back. But like, you're not big into the whole music school thing, so you don't know. And the only other education that you know of in Harmonia is the temple. And you're not sure that counts either. But to that point, you continue to move straight. I would like Festial and Lena specifically to roll me. I'm so sorry. Once again, a wisdom saving throw.
Our collective brains. Oh no.
Hote. A 22.
Oh no. 6.
Okay. Festial, for a moment, you kind of sit there and you go, you know what? I'm fine, actually. I hate it here. You know what? I'm just gonna keep my vision on the ground in front of me. I will pay no attention at all whatsoever to any of the things happening around me as this mist continues to grow thicker.
Just brute force my sanity.
You refuse. You have tortured
Not today,
me way too
Satan.
much. Exactly. Lena.
Hi.
your eyes wander for a moment. You're kind of, I'm assuming, mulling over your existential crisis.
I sure am. Thank you.
You see a vision for a moment in the mists of an older woman, like very very elderly woman in very plain, like, commoner's clothes, um with her gray frizzy hair pulled back, um very angular features, and she appears to be knitting what you think is like a sock in a rocking chair. And there's a moment, you swear, where this woman feels very corporeal as she makes eye contact with you and waves, but then vanishes, gone as the mists overtake her, and you continue.
Oh, okay.
You've never seen this woman before in your life. And for a moment, you almost feel like you could hear, like, a laugh, like a cackle, like a solid, like, I hate to say hag cackle, but like a hag cackle in your brain. Not even in your ears, just in your brain for like 2 seconds.
I just
A
hear the
hackle?
grunt. I just hear the Gruntilda laugh for a second.
Yes, actually, that's about it. Yep. I would laugh, but my throat is saying no, so
No,
I
no,
apologize.
don't. Next time.
I would laugh, but my throat is saying no, so I apologize. But yeah, if you can imagine like a solid hackle, right? A hag cackle. That is in your head for like 2 seconds before it just gone.
Fantastic. Also, I saw what Vaughn just posted. It's fantastic. Like, Lena just like looks over that direction, like, oh. She thinks like the age thing is now starting to like play tricks in her head.
It didn't look like you, if that was the question, if that was the concern.
Oh, just like starting to like imagine like other people around her that that she could have known just aging and be like, oh,
For a
hey.
moment, for a moment, the like Ephestial seems to have like white age spots on his face, and like his hair starts to become stringier than it already is, and then you blink and it's gone.
Kind of like rubs the one of her temples with one hand. It's just like, oh.
I lost my
I need
page.
to focus. I need to focus. She's just saying to herself for just a moment.
We were joking about it in a different call, but we kept constantly saying the most thing that we gotta do in this session is lock the fuck in, and now we're seeing the repercussions of locking the fuck in.
We've locked in. I want to unlock in.
You continue to move. And while it has been humorous and fun before, you've once again found yourself at yet another metaphorical fork in the road, except neither of the paths the mist wants you to take go straight forward.
Branson will move back up to his usual position and just go, so I'm going to assume the road doesn't naturally fork here, Lychee.
I mean, if you look at the road below your feet, it goes straight, but the mists seem to have, like, other plans.
Alright, Lychee.
That's your caravan, Master Lychee. What do you think we should do?
I mean, if it were my option, I would go straight forward.
Alright, but if that's not an option, what next?
I mean, why wouldn't it be an option?
Do we see a path just forward?
I mean, the road at your feet goes straight forward, but the opening in the mist did not. It's almost like there are two separate paths. One that's in the air and one that's on the ground. And they don't align.
Considering the road ahead goes directly into the mists, he'll kind of shrug. What do you think we should do?
Oof, all right. He kind of looks between the two roads for a minute. And he's like, I know they always say go right. But there's a 50-50 shot that right is not the best. Let's go to the left.
Left. Always my preferred way. Left it is. Kind of move the reins to start moving the caravan left.
As that happens, Roswell will just hear Earbrance go under his breath. At least we didn't waste our time flipping a coin this time.
We've grown.
That'll never not be the party meme for me.
As you continue down the road one more time, well, it's not a road, really. It's the bumpy, rough grass and root. It's actually really awful to travel over. But you do. It's very difficult terrain. It does require some assistance as you push. But I'm going to ask once again, one more time, for a wisdom saving throw.
My brain.
From...
Yeah,
Or-
all of you. From all of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'm doing great today. Well, I'm doing fantastic.
17.
18.
19.
Mm.
Lena.
Hello.
As a lot of you, this is ironic. This is ironic as heck. As you are continuing, it's very difficult to see. You don't really see, which, for the record, I did not forget this when I said that you could see the old lady in the mist. I want to be very clear about that. I'm aware you're blind. You saw that old lady in the mist, right? Just to be clear, I did not forget this. You did in fact see that old lady. You're not sure how, but you did in fact see that old lady in the mist.
I like to imagine there's like 10 feet radius kind of around me that I can kind of see, and then beyond it there's just nothing, and there's like 30 feet out in black void nothing. It's just like this elderly lady in a rocking chair.
Yep, knitting a sock. Quite odd, really. And what's even worse now is like, yeah, that's a humorous moment that strikes you as odd, weird, but like not really unsettling. You smell blood. You smell blood. Right now. In this moment. You can't see shit. Because besides, like, again, that like 5 to 10 feet radius that you got going on. You can't see shit. You smell blood. It's very, very potent.
She would like stop walking for a moment and be like, does anyone else smell that?
I assume we do not.
Nope. You do not.
If you're smelling toast, you're having a stroke.
What? No, I'm I smell blood.
That's more alarming. Then you'll watch Branson stick out his tongue and scent the air, making sure that there's no blood in the air.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy, I get to throw away that lovely 19. Do. For a 20!
You don't smell or taste anything.
It is the mists being the mists. They are trying to taunt you.
She's gonna like take one of her hands and kind of like gently like tap the inner like lining of her nose to make sure she doesn't like have a nosebleed.
Roll me a medicine check with advantage.
It's like making sure she doesn't like have a freaking nosebleed or something. All right, medicine, you got it.
You strike gold. Also, I'll give you bardic inspiration.
Amazing.
I'll add a d6 to this as well.
Amazing.
Man. So 16. What is it? D6 right now?
D6, yeah.
Okay. 21.
You like shove a pinky up there, wiggle it around a little bit. You don't feel anything wet. You remove it from your nose. You tap it. You still don't feel anything wet. But my God, that blood is actually smelling even more potent now.
Oh, smells coppery. Oh, good. And if no one else smells it and it's this potent, then she's like trying to like do the mental gymnastics, like, okay, alert, down, calm down. Like there's no way that it's this pungent and nobody else can smell it. Especially a snake man over there that just did the like tongue sensor thing.
You know what? As you are frantically searching yourself, I would like another wisdom save from both Razvan and from Hephaestion.
All right, Kaz, we're both gonna roll so fucking high. Ready?
All right, let's
1,
go.
2, 3,
3,
16.
15.
Okay, you guys gotta now start saying that every time.
Back to back again. There's a moment of Festial where you question whether or not you also smell blood, but then you like cover your nose for a minute, and then you like holding your breath, and you remove your hand and you sniff again. You smell nothing. Razvan, I don't need to tell you that you don't smell blood. You are a Dampier. You do know what blood smells like, and this is not it.
Yeah, it certainly smells something, but not blood.
Here, try this.
I believe it's just the mist.
Yeah, Brand's just gonna hold out, and you're gonna feel a small static shock as... Oh, wait, so he doesn't have that prepared, so redact that. I can't cast protection from evil and good on you to try to save you from the demons.
You see, you saved me from the demons of my nose bleeding.
Well, no, at this point, I'm saving you from the demons of what I believe is just Granny.
But as you say that, Lychee actually turns around and looks at you, Lana, and goes, "No, I smell it too. I smell blood. It's potent. It's near." He starts looking around, as if scanning what little he can see of the mists for any sign of, well, anything. There's a moment where you see him actually look to his feet, to the ground, even checking below the ox to see if there's any signs of blood, checking himself. No, I smell blood.
Might I offer a solution?
Like, absolutely.
Ophistiel kind of shakes himself and gets down on the ground. And he will wild shape again. This time hair's starting to extend from his body, his snout growing in size. And he will take the shape of a dire wolf.
Oh, okay.
And
Radical.
using his wolf nose, he'll start to sniff the ground.
All right. Couple things. You transform into a wolf, and Lychee just kind of like stops and stares at you for a minute. He's a little... He seems to have a lot of thoughts happening in his head, but he opts to say nothing. I need a perception check with advantage from you, Hephaestion.
That's a 19.
And now I need a wisdom save.
Nat 20.
As far as blood goes, you don't smell any blood at all. Not currently, anyway. You smell a lot of mud and dirt. You smell the unfortunate stench of human sweat, or humanoid sweat, rather. You smell ox. Oxes smell really bad. Also, if you get the distinct feeling that if you were slightly more lupine in actual nature, that the smell rather appetizing. But no, it smells disgusting. Really gross. Livestock.
Delicious. Since Lena was the one who was making note of it, he'll make his way over to her direction. Yeah, basically just trying to get a good lay of the land.
She smells a bit like owl.
So nothing.
Maybe a slight pine scent.
No, owls actually have a scent. It is of hatred. If anyone's wondering why, just search Matt Bronger and owls, and you will find out the truth about owls.
So, there's a moment though. You swear everything is clear, and you look up for a moment. There's something that you see in leading into the mist, though. You don't smell it. It's odd. But you do see a blood trail in the ground, in the dirt, heading off where you are currently, away from it. But like as you continue to sniff, you don't smell it.
He's gonna continue to at least follow it.
Are you going to go into the mists?
He'll stop right in front of the mist, look back, see if anybody's willing to come follow.
Lena, for a moment, was walking around her and smelling for a second, and then it kind of dawned on her who it might be. Lena probably would follow as well.
He'll let out a bark.
I believe in wild shape you can talk. That's not polymorph.
DM ruling, like in
Yeah.
the original 5e rules, you can't. I
you
believe
can't?
They I believe added that ability in the 2024 rules, though.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Every single time I think I know how the rules work, I am wrong. So nope, you bark. Doggo has let out a bark.
I can't speak dog, I can only speak snake.
Noted.
Bark twice.
But
Bark twice if you smell blood, bark once if you don't.
he nods at that, and with Lena's company, he'll start to very slowly stick his head into the mist to follow that trail.
Go ahead and I mean, you see the trail. You see the trail going deeper into the mist. Are you both entering the mist fully?
Oh.
If Lena
good question.
follows, he will.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to leave Ophestial alone, just to be safe.
Both of you roll me Constitution saving throws.
Oh, no. You know what? That's fine.
It's fine. We're here. That's a 7.
You didn't say you're both gonna roll so high. Oh shit!
Oh, shit.
So it also just occurred to me, Zan, we're doing a real good job as the veterans keeping the party together, aren't we?
You know, this ox, fucking secured.
A festial.
E.
Two things. Number one, your vision begins to go dizzy. Two, I need you to roll me a percentile, so that's a D100.
Oh boy. Okay.
88.
88.
Well done.
Okay.
So, the two of you continue to move together, and you look behind you, and the caravan's gone. Caravan's gone. There's a moment where the two of you continue to follow the trail of blood, not really knowing where you're going, not really knowing where you can go back to. This time, a festial, wisdom save with disadvantage. Lena, wisdom save with disadvantage.
Oh.
No.
One.
You know what? I got a nat 20 on that last one. This is par for the course.
mhm.
And yet, even with a 17, it's a bizarre sight. A festial. You see bodies. The blood trail leads to a pack of bodies. In total, there are 4. Splayed out. With gouges, gashes, slashes, blood everywhere. Lena, you smell blood. You don't just smell blood, though. You also smell, well, metal. And it is difficult to see, but there's something about the way that these bodies are splayed out that you feel like there's a sense of clarity almost. As you recognize one of them wearing a hat, one of them with a quarterstaff, one of them with a halberd, and one of them with a great axe.
Mm.
Is there any insignias or discernible iconography on any of the weapons or apparel?
Roll me another wisdom saving throw. With disadvantage.
9.
You look for a moment. Oh no, you don't just know this insignia. You know this as you stare at your own corpse. Slaughtered, maimed, beyond recognition, covered in blood. To the side, you see Lena splayed out as if some type of roadkill, or like a taxidermied rug, practically. You look over, you see Razvan, throat slit, bleeding out. You see Branson, one of his own hand axes, pierced right through his heart. You smell blood. You smell so much blood.
I don't like this. Something's trying to mess with us.
Ophestial tries to nudge one of the corpses, whichever he's closest to.
It
See if it
feels
does
very
anything.
real. It does not move, but it feels very real.
Roswell's corpse does give you a high five, though.
We'll high five you back. Paw 5.
It's like one of those give me 5, but like you put your hand down low so the dog can slap it.
Yeah.
You're not even sure if the corpse moved or if its hand just naturally laid that way. And as you both stare at these bodies, I need one more Constitution saving throw.
Both of us?
Yep.
Okay. It
Okay.
can.
Is there anything else you would like to do with the vision in front of you?
I'm gonna grab the axe if it's not too heavy in my mouth.
The hand axe?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a strength check.
And this is where my dump stat shows itself.
Well, no, you used your wild chips
You
strength.
use the wolf's
You use wolf. You
ability.
use wolf.
Oh, how do?
Just roll a normal d20
Okay.
for me.
That's still a 6.
Okay. And then we will add.
I think it's 2 or 3 for dire.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's 3. So a 9. Oh, it's lodged in there pretty deep. You might not be able to pull it out with just your mouth.
Lena's a little hesitant, but would offer help.
Festiel, drop it.
If you are offering the help action, go ahead and roll me essentially 2 more of the d20s. Give me 2 d20.
Who's rolling?
You.
Oh,
You would
okay.
be
Me,
Yeah.
2 d20s?
Yeah, 2 d20s.
Okay. 23.
4 and a 19. 19 plus 3. 22. You've managed to yank it out. Tastes like rotten wood.
And with some kind of proof on his person, he'll backtrack and try to head back to the caravan.
Roll me, this time, Lena, a d100.
Oh, goody.
65.
5.
You both find your way, somehow, to the path. However, you find yourself ahead of your own caravan, as if heading towards them. En route for collision, but also as you return from the mists, you both gain 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh, no.
Oh well, the trauma was worth it.
Well, no.
Also, it's interesting to note, Lena, you look down.
Uh-huh.
Your vision is terrible, but like you know what an axe looks like, right?
Yes.
What's in Ephestiel's mouth no longer looks like an axe.
Oh, what does it resemble, if I can tell?
A little hard to see from this angle.
Huh.
With your vision, it's
Or
a little
like-
hard to see from this angle.
A little hard to see
Okay.
in general.
Yeah.
Can I
But you
interrupt for,
can
like,
in
2
fact see
seconds?
old hags in the
The-
For
Can I interrupt
hags,
for
you're
like 2
2020.
seconds?
Yeah, you
I
can.
have a question.
Question.
Where can I mark exhaustion? I am being blind.
You're good. So it should be at the top of your character sheet. There should be, if it'll load for me, thank you. There should be, if I remember correctly, there should be a place for it. Unless I'm mistaken.
I don't believe there actually is one. It's one of those things that you don't have to track much because there's only 6 levels of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might just have to make a note for yourself. Then.
Okay, I'll just remember.
Yeah.
It'll
Sorry.
be with you until your next
Continue.
long rest.
So here's a question. Have we discovered that they have come out of the mist from a different angle?
Oh yeah, from a different angle. And the wolf has something in its mouth.
Do I recognize what it is in its mouth, or do I need to percept?
I would say because of the mist, you'll need to perceive. But I won't make it at disadvantage because you're close enough.
Okay. That's a 22.
That's a human arm.
Yep.
spits it out.
Yeah, it tastes like blood and marrow.
What was that? She asks, like trying to look down now.
Arm.
You can see it. You can see it on the ground
Arm?
now. That's
That was an axe.
that's an arm. That's an arm.
That was an axe just a second ago. Okay.
Literally bringing you body parts as a sign of thank you.
I mean, to be fair, Branson's super carnivore. If it wasn't human, if it had been any kind of animal part, he would have been like, thank you, I need the protein.
Oh, that's
Like,
a human
yeah.
arm. That's a human arm. It smells rotten too.
Alright, so
Ophastiel,
We might want to leave that behind.
Ophastiel will shift back. The clearest trauma on his face. Guys, we were just dead.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Oh, to die every evening, resurrect every morning.
I mean, like our corpses were there. This was Branson's axe when I picked it up in the mist.
Oh, you mean you? Oh, I see. Huh.
We were dead.
well, it seems,
I mean, we're not, right?
well, it seems the nightmares
and
have stopped, but now the mist want to take their place. Fantastic.
No, we have seen illusions thus far in the mist the last few days or so. Perhaps this is just another illusion.
But now they're
Certainly could have
making
been.
it personal.
Well,
Uh,
I can't necessarily blame it at this point. At this point, he's becoming blasé to everything that's happened today. He's emotionally drained. He just wants to get away from these mists and go to bed. If you want, if you can,
Corpse pot.
I was about to say, if you can at least get past it until we can sit down and talk about it as we prepare for the night. We just need to get out of here as fast as possible. I think that's the best for all of our sakes.
I agree. And he'll
Get out of
kind of
where?
to get out of the mists, I would assume.
When you say that, he looks like he's like sucking on a lemon.
Clearly, you have thoughts on this?
Oh, where's the end of the myth?
I do not know.
Hey, you see my point. Also, sorry, Festial, didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say he kicks the body part kind of back into the mist and walks away.
Bad
You don't hear a sound. Like when you see it arch, you expect to hear like a sound of it like hitting the mud. You do not. You do not hear it. You hear nothing.
It's concerning.
Thus, you continue forward. The mists do not let up, and this continues. Well, you frankly don't know how much time has passed, even. Could be minutes, could be hours. You frankly don't know. But you continue. You continue. You continue.
I have a question.
Sure.
What's the general vibe check on the mood between, like, Razvan, Ophastiel, Lena, and Lychee? Just given
You
that...
are welcome
Yeah.
to roll an insight check if people permit it.
Okay, I will start with Lychee, because that's the one I don't need permission for. Like, I need your
Okay.
permission for, but you're usually fine
Well,
with that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah.
That's a 13. Probably not reading him.
He seems from an insight of 13, he seems, yes, he's concerned, but he is more focused on staying on the path permitted by the mists. And it seems like he's constantly keeping like a scan of everywhere around you to the best of his ability.
Okay, and then does anyone not permit an insight check on their character?
Russell tries to be an open book with you.
Okay, so I'll start with him. Yeah. That's a 24.
Rosman's just trying to relax and not let the unnervousness of what we're seeing around us get to him too much. He's kind of like you, where he's just like, this is like a dream. You just kind of have to let it go through and just wait for it to be done.
Okay. Skelly, can I insight Lena?
Yes, of course.
Okay. That's only a 10, but how rocked by their day have they been?
There's some stuff on her that is still readable. I would attribute like the low insight roll. It's just like it's hard to get a beat on some of her emotions because a lot of like her upper cheeks and eyes are kind of and brows are like covered by bandages. So there's a lot of expressiveness that's kind of muted due to that. But you can tell by like her general composure and the like that she seems like she's like lost in thought a good bit as of like the sense of the disappearance of Humphrey. Probably some concern there as well. I would say that'd probably be all you would probably get with a 10. But overall, she seems to be holding herself together all right.
Okay. And Kaz, is it okay to insight Ophestiel? Think the mic's still dying.
Oh my god, unless I'm like eating it. Yes, it is okay.
Thank you. That's a 23.
Oh boy, yeah. Ophestial is... He spent a lot of the time that you all were talking and he was being quiet, just really trying to regroup his emotions and refocus. He's very flustered and frustrated by what he just saw. Very impatient even. Doesn't seem like he's really too happy about still being here.
Alright. Branson is taking a lot of all of the shit that's happened today. And he's thinking back on certain stuff and some insight that Razvan gave him when there was just the two of them. And so, Razvan, you'll feel it might hurt a little. Like, he's not great at holding back his strength, but he'll give you, like, a brief, like, punch to the knee. Like, nothing that should... Yeah. Again, not that hard. He's trying to hold back, but still, it's like, to get your attention, looks at you, and you're going to see him start doing something completely out of character for all of you. But you're just going to start hearing him going in a slightly louder voice. And it's home, boys. Home. Home I'd like to be. Home for a while in me own country. And as he's doing this, he's looking at you because he knows at least that this song is a sailor song. So there's a good chance that Razvan will have heard it because we're from the same plane.
He kind of just smiles and looks a bit shocked, and will kind of sit up proper to open up his like ability to breathe in and take air.
Where the oak and the ash and the bunny rowan tree all are growing greener in the old country. And he'll start singing that, and he'll go through the first few verses, but like we'll stress the chorus, which is what he just started with, and try to see if anyone picks up. And he's very obviously trying to raise the spirits of everyone with a way that they kept spirits up in his old caravan for over long hauls, and just singing as they walk.
Razvan will give an echo to the chorus for a bardic inspiration.
Thank you. If I have to roll a performance check, if I have to sing more of this song. But yeah, Branson will then just keep kind of looking back and seeing how everyone is doing and how they're taking this very change their usual dour straits.
Vern would probably react before Lena does, and Vern, I could just imagine just like bobbing up and down a little bit. Lena would kind of like look up to the two of you singing. She doesn't join in, but she does like start snapping to the rhythm, and she does like have a little small smile on her face. She's definitely like kind of getting into the vibe of the music. But certainly she's very much enjoying it.
All right, he'll try to sneak as much a glance as he can at Ophestial and see how they're doing.
Ophestial's really shocked to see that coming out of you, Branson. But he looks over and he just has this huge smile on his face. And he'll run up a little bit closer to like up next to Razvan, and after listening to the chorus a few times to try to get the words, he'll join in.
Nice. And so, because I don't want to actually badly sing an Irish song in a Russian accent a cappella on stream, I will explain for the people who haven't heard. If you want to look it up, the song is Homeboy's Home, and almost every Irish band has done it, so you can find hundreds of versions on YouTube. I recommend the Clancy Brothers one. But he sings a very funny song about a sailor who wants to, like, is always hoping to go back home, but it's really a story about a sailor having a wild night with a tavern girl and then leaving her a ton of money in case he got her pregnant. So it's a dirty song. It's upbeat. It's fun, and it is definitely a Irish shanty.
It's tavern music.
Yeah. So that is what Branson will do, and he will do it for the rest of the song. See how everyone takes it, and then he'll be like, smile, see that everyone is at least enjoying themselves, not fully caring what Leitchi's doing. But, again, he is trying to improve the mood. It seems like it works, so he's got a small smile on his face.
Hey, that was pretty great. Elena would say afterward.
It's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be. Home for a while in me own country. Where the oak and the ash and the bony rowan tree are all growing greener in the old country. And you hear that around you, and you know it's not right.
Branson will start to scowl, having the mist kind of poison a good moment, but then he'll try to soldier on. It was a song from one of my mother's homelands. She taught it to the caravan. It was good marching music and good revelry music for night.
It is a good one. Not as raunchy as I would like from a sea shanty, but a good one nonetheless.
Well, she was in charge of raising like 18 children. What do you expect?
The children are gross.
He looks like he wants to say something, but he's thinking back to his time, especially having to help raise some of the younger children, because that's what matrons in that kind of situation will always do, is like, they'll raise you, but you're going to help them raise the younger ones. So he's like,
right.
He doesn't say anything.
And as you continue to walk, begrudgingly, the song echoes around you, and it's kind of off. There's something off about it. It's not in the right key. The melody's not quite right. Those are certainly the words that you just sang, echoing around you.
Well, if we get to a place where the mists aren't so echoey, maybe I can teach you some more. They're taking a little bit of the joy out of it, but we needed our spirits raised, and that was the best way I knew to do it without alcohol.
Odd thought. But obviously it's not got the right like sound to it, but weird thought. Do you think maybe the mist is trying to learn the song with us? Maybe it's trying? Weird theory, but something that crossed the mind.
I would wish to have brought my mother's legacy to a place nicer than this.
Well, maybe a place like this is exactly what needs it.
Depending on what you want to do, you could take it to a tavern for a pretty penny.
You'll see. First, I would say Ophesti, you'd probably notice, like, you saying that gets another, like, small smile out of Branson, a more genuine one than when he was self-satisfied. And then you watch his face immediately go to calculating when he hears about making money from Lychee.
Yeah, like under the bandages, like Lena's eyebrows raised, and it's like, that's not a song anyone's heard of around here.
I imagine I have a small lexicon of unique songs. But I'm not the singer, as you just saw.
It's really not a bad idea. You know, it's funny. My mom and I used to sing on street corners to make money. She was also a bard.
Then if we
So,
then Brance will say,
go ahead.
If when we have time to rest, I can maybe teach you a few more.
I would love that. I'll teach you some of my own as well, if you want.
That would be nice.
Lena starts rubbing her chin. Us going around and gallivanting and asking major pertinent questions, as I've said, when I first met you, will attract a lot of unwanted attention. You'll get mistaken for people that aren't exactly desired. Having at least a proper troupe and maybe singing some songs from your lands could actually work as like an upfront thing that we're doing. We could go.
Maybe, but
go
okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say, go from place to place, singing the songs that we know.
Maybe that my mother was not a bard. She is an escort. So unless you want me invoking those sorts of talents, not much I can do there.
I'm certain, though, you've heard some good stories from that angle, however.
Oh, indeed. That's such a story as me and how my late brother came to exist. She lusted for a vampire, knowing exactly what he was, and got what she wanted.
The one thing I found in the research that has always puzzled me, and I will never understand, why so many people are sexually attracted to the idea of vampires. It's documented.
I do not think, at least in my mother's case, it was so much that what he was, more who the man he was.
Osvan's mom's been on too much book talk.
Oh my god. Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but from my personal experience, in a lot of those cases, there isn't much of a choice.
True. Fortunately, that was not the case for my parents. They genuinely did care for each other quite a bit.
Glad to hear that, at least.
I will say, troops are often try to avoid being one note, as it were, pun intended, and not just do songs. Storytelling and acting out the stories also fetch a fair sum and crowd and fame as well.
And last time we met a few bards, they wanted to fight us as we were encroaching their territory. If Skald is different, sure, but
Lena kind of like tugs on her collar, just like, that was a terrible first introduction to this. I am very sorry. No, things are not like that.
Yeah, Branson's just gonna look at Rosvan and just go, they were so annoying.
I promise you, from where I'm from, it is not like that whatsoever, and I'm sure it's not like that in Skald.
Like,
I'm sure it's not like that in Skald.
And Branson will just look back. I have already forgotten their names. The best I remember them are as Loud Human, Sword Human, and Other.
Well, something I do miss. Being off the road would be helpful. It would be nice to actually lay in the bed. Maybe find someone to help warm it.
That is up to you.
Even just a bed would be nice. Tired of sleeping on the road.
There are plenty of those in Skald if you're willing to pay a price.
Beds or never mind.
For goods and services. Slow blinks.
Well then, I suppose on that note, to Skald.
And as you all have been ignoring the echoes and have been sort of continuing along this path that isn't the proper path, eventually you reach another area where it opens up into multiple directions, and you see a section of the forest itself that seems almost like an opening to it. And in the center of that opening, for the first time in a minute, what you see in front of you appears to be some type of wistful figure holding a lantern with a vibrant green glow. And as it looks to you all, it sort of scans over your caravan a moment before turning and moving. And with that is where I'm going to end today's session.
All right.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Ominous. So yeah, we definitely thought this episode was going to be a lot more dour than it turned out to be.
Oh yeah.
Well, the mists have been far more proactive, so we've had a lot more to grab on there.
Fair enough.
It's almost like you provoked it.
What? Just a little lightning.
Big mad.
Listen, I warned literally everyone in this call. I'm sorry. This man is traumatized and reactionary. I can only play him straight. Which is hilarious considering
Razvan tried to get the mist drunk and it didn't work. So, the lightning was the next step.
Don't worry, Darky. Go back. You get to have the serious big character moments at the beginning, and then it just evolved into us like popping ourselves with our own brands of comedy.
Wait a minute. If we can affect the mist, you think Razvan can riz up the mists?
100% believe that he can.
Let's go.
You can certainly try.
That does sound how a domain of dread is born. Someone tried to seduce the mist. The dark powers are like, you're cute. Here's your own special playpen. Oh no! Now I'm imagining the dark powers looking at a Dark Lord, just going, "This is my scrumbo."
You don't think that's not how they look at Strahd? Look at this man, my scrunkly man. We shall keep him alive for all of his days.
Yeah, this is like the Fiona and Cake fanfiction.
Just like the mist just drops Razvan off somewhere. It's like this. Look at him. There he is.
My boy.
It's my little guy.
Oh. But yeah, I do know some people need to start wrapping up so they can start winding down. So do we want to start going around the horn while I find someone for us to raid?
Sure. I suppose I'll go first as I've got the least amount immediately going on. It's me, Zan. You can catch me over on my Twitch channels in like a few weeks because I'm moving, so I'm gonna be pretty busy. But on Thursday, you can catch me over twitch.tv/MontyGlue at 7 p.m. PST, where we're going to continue to do Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We're pretty deep into the module, pretty high level as well, so if you like that kind of content, that is there for you. Aside from that, towards the end of the month, I'll be at Anime Detour, alongside with many of the other Unexpectables casts. So if you want to see us, I'll be behind the booth. So that's there for you as well. Aside from that, other streaming stuff you can catch over on my Blue Sky at Xanos Grim. It'll happen when it happens. Again, things are weird, so we'll see. But that is me, and I'm gonna toss the skull over to Kaz.
Hello. I'm Catastrophe Cause. I'm just pretty much in the throes of convention prep. Things are coming together. They're starting to look like things. So that's good. Other than that, just recently I was on another channel, doing a little interview about how to start cosplaying with a friend of mine, and we talked about our journeys from beginning to where we are now. It's very embarrassing. Hopefully insightful. But yeah, you can find that on Wayne the Unknown's channel, and Vaughn can link that for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna throw the skull at Skelly.
I caught it. I have it. Hi, I'm Scaly Alpha. I can be found on Blue Sky and Twitch under the same names. This coming week and for like the week after is the Minecraft Donathon that I'm running, where I'm using a very limited mod pack to beat the Ender Dragon to help generate funds for the trip. Funny enough, to Anime Detour. So that's going to be going on until from the 11th to the 25th. I'll have some other fun stuff interspersed between, as well as a fun little reveal on the 11th that people might enjoy. Other than that, that's literally all that's been on my plate lately. I've been cramming everything into it. So with that, I will pass the skull over to Saris.
Hello, you can find me all over the internet at Tixtixel, where, as I said before, we're doing stuff in the background, but largely most of what I'm going to be doing that's not directly for those who wander is going to be taking a bit of a backseat until not just Anime Detour, but also SakuraCon is over. And then, other than that, we've got No Love War Extra this week, and we should, in theory, be coming up with a specific day for off here soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Vaughn, take it away.
Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at BurnoutVaughn, and over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. You'll also be able to see me at Anime Detour, walking around with a water bottle full of vodka and orange soda, day drinking, not professionally. But if there are any Unexpectables adjacent friends who also follow these things, you can come and say hi to me. Actually, nearly every one of the cast will be there now. But aside from that, No Love War Extra this Saturday, where we're Of the Deviling. If anyone doesn't know, check out Of the Devil. We've got 2 playthroughs up there. I think I'm about to make a playlist of just Of the Devil because it's a certain length, and people probably want that a little bit in more bite-sized parcels. But it's a good time. We're about to argue the legality of taking a dead man's android. And yeah, we definitely don't have any legal claim to that, and we're about to argue that case. So it's going to be really fun lying to the law. But with that out of the way, we're going to rate a good friend because they are never early on whenever we stream. So we're rating our friend Blue Kazanate, who's doing some art. What should our rate message be?
Granny.
You know what? Yeah, Granny.
Okay. No context needed.
No context needed.
No context.
Thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.